picked out didn't seem particularly good, though. All right. Blue-black Kefnet. I played a little bit of blue-black Kefnet at the end of last season and throughout various other seasons. It always felt a little bit lackluster. I was playing it again this season, and I really just... Spot removal, like Tyrant Scorn, that doesn't kill Planeswalkers efficiently or trade up on tempo, not having that feels really bad. So I've got 12 green lands, which gives us some temples, which are also nice, and I'm playing 4 Assassin's Trophies, essentially, in an otherwise blue-black deck. I've also got a couple copies of Veil of Summer here in the sideboard for Esper and the Steal Your Stuff decks, but yeah, pretty much a blue-black Kefnet deck, mostly for Assassin's Trophy as efficient, targeted removal. Thanks for the Pauper content. I've enjoyed it, and I'm playing some Pauper at GP Minneapolis. Well, thanks for the support, Blue. I'm glad you are liking it. I appreciate the feedback. So this deck might be a little bit light on win conditions. We've got 2 of these and 3 of these in the main deck. I've also got a couple of Ugins in the sideboard here, but we'll see how this goes. Drawn from Dreams or Fish Through Time here was a card that felt really powerful in the blue-white deck we were playing yesterday, so I'm excited to play some more of it, especially alongside God-Eternal Kefnet. Let's dive on into some ranked matches here. If this deck feels absurd and fun, I might play it tomorrow in the fandom event, but if it doesn't feel absurd and fun, we're gonna submit Sultai Flash after the set is done. Does that mean you are knighted? It does, Toxic Flames. Thank you for the entire year of support. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. So keeping me around. Yeah, the more I play with the Cavaliers of different colors, the more I become convinced that just every Cavalier is super playable. It's really, really powerful cards. A lot of fun too. Overgrown Tomb is a great draw here because it lets me cast Thought Erasure on 2. We're gonna bottom blue Cavalier for now though, because I would prefer to hit my land drops here. The Nexus matchup is a place where we're super happy to have 4 Assassin's Trophy. Root Snare, not super worried about that one. I would love a search for Azcanta of my own. We'll have a little bit of wrong half problem here. Because Ritual of Soot doesn't have text, but we don't have that many cards that are just blank here. We have 3 Rituals, 3 Disfigures, 2 Nixilis Cruelty, and hopefully Search for Azcanta is going to help us filter through some of those cards that are otherwise blank draws. Hey, Beast of Burden, thank you for the 4 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
Seek and find.
Blue Cavalier is technically a shuffle effect, Marty. Alright, so do I just trophy the Tameo here? Yeah, but if the blue Cavalier doesn't die, they die very quickly to a 5/5 flyer a lot of the time. I mean, they can flip Search regardless, and I can still trophy a flipped Search, right?
Our time together is finished.
Which again is another reason why trophy is great. Just answer target thing. We got speaking of Azcanta helping us avoid that wrong half problem, it didn't find us our land, unfortunately, but we did get to find, we did get to dodge drawing a Disfigure. That's so brutal. Am I just supposed to drawn from Dreams here? I feel like I'm just supposed to drawn from Dreams here. Uses my mana efficiently. If I hit a land here, next turn I can go Narset plus Trophy. And then hopefully we can find another trophy to eventually work our way through all of these Search for Azcantas. I definitely want a land. I think I want the Cavalier of Gales here to kind of work my way through. It lets me see a little bit more cards, and it also like attacks for 5 to eventually kill them. Because like just disrupting them isn't enough. I need to also be able to end the game. Yeah. We're pretty far behind at this point. Like they've got Search for Azcanta going, and they found a second one. Really need like another Assassin's Trophy ASAP. Cavalier does, yeah, and Cavalier plus Azcanta is sweet too, because you can like shuffle your dead card, put your dead card back on top of your deck, and then get rid of it with Azcanta, which is nice. Yikes! Thanks, Tamio or Narset. I appreciate you. Alright, there's a Wilderness Reclamation. So, I'm not just trophying this right away, because they would flip this one over immediately. So, I want to go ahead and do this, so that way they don't get a chance to double activate this with the Wilderness Reclamation this turn. Did the title really not update? It's been so bad about that lately. I'll try it again. Did it change now? Because it was updated on my dashboard. Yeah, weird. Feels like half the time when I click it to update, it just doesn't actually go. Yeah, I just pushed it again. Alright, so we're hoping to... we actually get a ton of looks at another trophy next turn, right? Alright, probably dead because they drew a Nexus of Fate, because that's how this match works. If they hadn't drawn a Nexus of Fate, we would have been able to draw a card. We would have been able to look with this, draw a card, activate Narset, and then cast Dig Through Fish. Fish Through Time, whatever you want to call it. So if they take an extra turn here, I'm going to concede. Because we're likely dead. This is why Standard is miserable. This is one of the prime reasons why Standard is miserable. It's probably good that I'm sitting here being a little bit miserable, because it reminds me that I don't want to play this. I just want to play the Flash deck to counter people's spells. The Flash deck's pretty good against the Nexus of Fate deck. I'm gonna go ahead and concede, because we're unlikely to get another turn. I really wish we could turn back the wheel and go back to GRN Standard. It is my favorite format I have ever played anywhere ever, and by comparison, this format is miserable. To cut all of these cards that are good against creatures and not good here. Bring in these Veil of Summers so they at least cantrip. That seems fine. It's possible these could just be more counterspells too, or duresses or something. It's possible these should just be duresses because of the Nexus matchup. Yeah, same Punishing Waterfalls. Innistrad, previously, if you would have asked me, Innistrad RTR Standard was my favorite Standard format ever, but GRN definitely takes #1 now. Just gonna never draw a third land and die, but that's how we do. I like Gate Shift and Standard. I've not seen a good Gate Shift deck that I like, no. All the ones I've seen have been incredibly clunky and slow and just kind of get run over by aggro decks. Go ahead and bottom that, because we're just looking to hit land drops. Innistrad RTR had a lot of awesome going on. What made GRN Standard so good? It had a lot of the diversity of these formats, the format that we have right now, but Wilderness Reclamation didn't exist. So, like, there were Nexus of Fate decks in the format, but they were, like, memes at best. There was no 3-mana Teferi either. It was like this sweet, awesome format without 3-mana Teferi and without Wilderness Reclamation. Yeah, the Nexus decks were like novel, oh, this is neat, it's going off for once in like 20 games, instead of like, we're sitting here again, being miserable because it's a tier 1 deck. Yeah, Jeskai control versus Esper. Kaya's Wrath. I really think Wizards of the Coast was on the right track, not printing cards like 4-mana unconditional sweepers and not printing cards like 4-mana unconditional sweepers and Land War Elves. I really preferred when the formats didn't have those things. Yeah, I agree. Taking turns should be a novel tier 2 thing. It should never be a tier 1 deck in a standard format. Just too difficult to interact with. Yeah, people thought Carnage Tyrant was too good. Anybody remember that? When control players were complaining that Carnage Tyrant was too good? Who remembers that? Like, it's like a bad joke at this point, right? Ooh, Carnage Tyrant, too strong. Please ban Carnage Tyrant. It's unfair. I have to deal with Carnage Tyrant. Alright, so I think I definitely want this Negate. Maybe it's just the land plus the trophy, actually. I guess I'm pretty likely to hit a land next turn with my Search for Azcanta anyways. I'm gonna grab Trophy and Negate here. And like, yeah, I'm just done. All right, I'm gonna. This deck, the opponent's deck is one of the many reasons why mid-range control decks like what we're trying to play here are kind of unplayable in this format. And once we clear through the ones in the queue, I'm gonna stop accepting them as donation decks. We're gonna try and play this and see how they feel against a couple other things. But any other reclamation matchups we run into, I'm just gonna concede on the spot. You just don't have a chance. Yeah, right. Yep, playing against decks benefits no one. Conceding to them buffers their win rate, so maybe WotC will eventually do something and decide they care about this format. Basic Mountain on 1. Nah, I'd sooner do more Underlords content than Legacy, because Legacy's also not very popular. There's a higher ceiling on things like Underlords content. So, I could play the Temple on 1. Part of me wants to play the Watery Grave on 1, though, so that way I can Disfigure on 2 without taking 2. I think I'm gonna do that. There's a good chance I want to Disfigure on 2 against a turn 1 Basic Mountain. Yeah, we're just not gonna, unless our deck is something like the Sultai Flash deck, where we know we have a good Nexus matchup, we're just not gonna bother. We've got Enter the God-Eternals in our opener here against the red deck, and the red deck start did not involve a 1-drop, so feels like we have a pretty good shot at being able to win this. We've got Trophy to answer something like Experimental Frenzy, should it slip past the Negate. If we hit the untapped land here and get to dig through Fish, perfect. Fish through time, whatever you want to call it. So, I think I want to take Watery Grave. I guess I already have plenty of black. We'll take Breeding Pool for a second green. And do I want God-Eternal Kefnet or Cavalier? I think I probably want God-Eternal, huh? I feel like he has more upside. He's also cheaper. So, like, next turn, they're going to play both of these and put me to 12. And then I think the play is tapped land Ritual of Soot. And the following turn, I can, like, Kefnet plus Hold Negate or Kefnet plus Assassin's Trophy. Or potentially play God-Eternals. I do think I want to just go ahead and take my 2-for-1 on this ritual here. Yeah, Regulator's interesting in their deck. It feels like we're in a pretty good spot here. I've got Negate and Enter the God-Eternals, and the fact that, like, I've got 2 creatures. This and gifted subs for a standard deck will do, Chef Seth. Thanks for the support. Reveal Narset. Decline. Perfect. They should pretty much be dead at this point. So we get to put this back, which sets up Kefnet's activation for next turn. Play the cards you can never beat. Alright. Alright. Negate, Cerulean Drake, Disfigure, Cruelty. What do we want to trim here? Narset's not particularly great here. I think I just want to cut the Thought Erasures. I just want more cards that play to the board. This seems fine. I'm not a huge fan of Ritual of Soot in general. Maybe it's fine to leave in here. I've got a lot of cheap spot removal. Yeah, it's exactly correct, Steric. Just hitting our own thing. Ritual of Soot versus Thought Erasure versus Ugin. Discuss. I feel like especially on the draw, this is just too slow. I think I'd rather have the Thought Erasures. Nah, I think Fish Through Time is better than Narset. And I'd rather just leave 4 of those in. This card digs real deep. Keep. Okie doke. Perfect sideboarding, yep. I don't know. Maybe they hit keep by mistake and kept a bad hand. Yeah, Sand's great. Yeah, great's a little strong. Sand's fine. Turn to Erasure for a control deck. You got plenty of lands if it's a control mirror. Can enter the God-Eternals if they're an aggro deck. Morning, Twingy. Get to get that really valuable scry to the bottom. Sign me up. Temple of Mystery basically drew us a card there. Does anyone have the 4-year sub badge yet? I don't believe so. I don't even have the 4-year sub badge. Next month, I get my own 4-year sub badge. There's a couple that are close behind me. Tachova, Deputy, definitely God-Eternal Kefnet here. The 4-year badge is a castle. I don't think this is a ritual matchup. At least not with what they have so far. Hey, the dude rants. Checking in for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Maybe I'm supposed to keep Ritual just because it gives me something to do on 4. I can't know that they're going to have another mana dork though, right? Wow, are we not playing Tachova? Weird.
You'll thank me later.
Yeah, Twitch auto subs you to yourself. So you can have access to your own emoticons and stuff like that. Hey, look, an interactive card, because Magic's an interactive game where both players get to have back and forth and generate an interesting gameplay experience.
Don't worry, I got this.
Well. Time me out for interactivity, because I know there's none in this match. God bless. God bless us, everyone. Enter the God-Eternal is also incredibly awkward in the face of Teferi. Yeah, our deck is like almost certainly just a bad Esper deck. We'll stack those like that, so that way when we enter the God-Eternals and mill ourselves next turn, we can clear the second land off. I hit a trophy for the Time Raveler, though, which is nice. We might actually not enter the God-Eternals next turn, depending on how this goes.
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
Are we gonna deputy my Cavalier of Gales? Is that the plan? Yeah, that doesn't seem like a very good plan, opponent. I don't know if you thought this one through. Is this last card like a mystic, a frilled mystic? Yeah, that seems pretty good for us. Trigger.
It's only a matter of time.
All right. If they miss on a bomb this turn, yes, yeah, Fish Through Time lets you clear your brainstorms too. This deck's got a lot of really sweet things going on in it. It's just playing against Nexus is miserable. If they don't like manipulation us this turn. All right, we get to hold up this negate now. Like, we're in a very, very good spot. The main deck negates have been very good. Yeah, just for trophy. In fact, I think I'm going to cut the Veil of Summers out of my sideboard after this match, so we can have Duresses to have a slightly better chance against Nexus of Fate. So the problem, Sags, isn't your answer density against Wilderness Reclamation. The problem is your clock density. So this deck can't kill people. Yeah, Negate's just a good card in general. This actually wasn't a very good dig through fish. So it's fine though, because like we have 9 power in the air. You cast actual dig through time. As you will. Wow! I guess I should be playing around Settle the Wreckage. I should have Thought Erasure there pre-combat, obviously. Now they have a window to draw a thing and kill me. Now they have a window to draw a thing and kill me. Have I played a land yet this turn? I don't think I have, right? So I can get Negate plus a land here. I mean, I could get punished here. So I obviously should have done this pre-combat. If they rip a thing and kill me here, they rip a thing and kill me. I deserve that. Hey, Kiora fan, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate the support. Thanks for keeping me around. You think they felt good about that draw? You think they felt good about that draw? Shroom Dog! Thank you for the 3 months of support. I appreciate the quarter of a year. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Well, I tried to punt. Our deck carried us through. God bless. God bless us, everyone. I'm real glad we took Ritual of Soot. Yep. Cruelty and Enter, not very good here. Noxious Grasp sounds absurd. I don't know if I like Narset here. I guess they probably have Hydrate Crisis, and this keeps Hydrate from drawing. So it's probably important that way. Do I want to trim Disfigure or Disdainful Stroke? I don't think Aethergust fixes any of our problems against Nexus Freedom Gaming. So again, the problem with this deck against the Nexus of Fate decks isn't your ability to be interactive. We have a lot of interactive cards. The problem with this deck against Nexus of Fate is that you can't kill them while you're interacting with them. And between their Search for Azcantas and their Tamios and all their other cards that are just super redundant, they just play through your disruption if you're not attacking them while disrupting them. Do you think you need 3 Soots post-board? I think you do, because not only does Soot clean up their mana creatures, but Soot kills their Hydrate Crises, and it kills their Nissa lands. Killing Nissa lands is really important. That seems not amazing, but it's fine. Thief of Sanity might be okay. That could be something worth trying. Like the Veil of Summers are something I could swap out. There really isn't any other, like, I don't have like a Legion War Boss that I can really play, right? So like if my opponent has a turn 3 Nissa here, I can trophy the Nissa at end of turn, take a couple of hits, and then Soot to clean up all their lands. Negate's a great draw. No, Nissa's so unlucky. Listen, not complaining. Let's get rid of that one. Yeah, Night doesn't really quantify a clock because of the mana that you have to pump into it. So I think I just want to do this and kill their mana creatures here. If they play exactly Nissa next turn, I'm a little bit sad I fired that off, but like playing God-Eternal Kefnet out into that much mana seems like a loose play. I guess if they have Nissa and they don't have another payoff after, we could be fine, because like we're taking 3. Yeah, sweet. Nice Hydrate Crisis. We are mostly on empty at this point. Of course, one fish through time with Kefnet out, and we just like get right back in it. Alright, there's the Nissa. Her 3/3s do not attack profitably into my God-Eternal Bantu, or God-Eternal Kefnet. Whichever God-Eternal this one is. Alright, give me something to trigger on, please. And they didn't play a land that turn, which implies that their hand is just like all bombs. They also didn't play a mana creature. This is working them towards enough blue mana to potentially be able to cast Mass Manipulation and take my God-Eternal Kefnet here, which would be sad, but I don't really have any counterplay against that. Probably the game because my hand is just all blanks.
Might be a bad idea.
I could draw Ritual of Soot to maybe still be in this game. Alright. That explains what's sitting in their hand, right? Do I want Disfigure on the play? I'm not sure that I do. That's probably fine. I don't know. I have Ritual of Soot to clean their dorks up. I'm bringing these strokes. It's fine. Not super exciting, but fine. Negate on 2 can stop like a turn 2 Teferi out of them. We got Trophies Interaction. We got a God-Eternal Kefnet. Yeah, I agree, Zed. I think we're gonna cut the Veils for some Thief of Sanities, which also aren't great in the face of 3 free, but they might help us against Reclamation. Yeah, I'm gonna cut the Veils for the board, Genesis. Yep. I think it's too small of a benefit. It also doesn't stop Nexus from shuffling back into their deck. Because Nexus is a replacement effect. If Leyline of the Void prevented Nexus from shuffling back into their deck, I think it would be fine, but it doesn't, so it's not. No, I don't think so, Lethal. I think I'd rather have the mana efficiency on the Disfigure. Misery loves company.
Trust me, I have a plan.
Ritual of Soot would be a good draw. No, this deck's awful against Nexus. That was the first match we played today. Decks. Interesting mid-range / control decks like this are one of the many archetypes that Nexus just renders pretty unplayable in the format. You know what the worst part about this Teferi here too is? When we hit something with God-Eternal Bond 2 next turn, we can't cast it because of Teferi static text. Because that's how Magic works, unfortunately. Well, they've got a whole lot of nothing going on, at least. Whatever this guy is here. Whatever this God-Eternal is. Yep. You can still reveal it, you just can't cast it.
You just let me know if you're up for round 2.
What do you got over there? Sure. So I'm taking 8. I'm probably trophying a Paradise Druid, actually, right? It changes the clock. I mean, they stopped our Surveil. I think it's fish through time here. Plenty of counterspells. I think we're pretty solidly ahead at this point with the counterspells in our hand. They need to draw like bomb plus counterspell here to like have a window to get in. Or like bomb, I guess. Maybe I'm supposed to grab another Narset there, because it feels like the way this game is going, my opponent's way to get back in is a big Hydroid Crisis. So I feel like if I got a Narset, I would be able to insulate against that a little bit. Yeah, guess 3 guesses why I declined. Maybe I'm just supposed to let that happen. Maybe I'm just supposed to let that happen, then this happen, and then like Noxious Grasp this, and then block their thing. Are they really not attacking the Narset? Maybe they're not playing Hydrate Graces? Seems like it would be weird. Stop trying to tap all my black sources, game. Maybe they're just not playing Krasis. Like, they've got, like, God-Eternal Kefnet and, like, other big stuff. So, like, something's got to give to, like, make room for those things. Yeah, I don't think slamming Gales there is very good. I think the only way I lose this game is like them resolving a big thing. So let's just like make sure they don't resolve it. This is free-ish. Takes a point of power off the board. I guess it gives them a blue source, but they already have quad blue because of the Paradise Druid, right? Yeah, we're looking for, like, a Ritual or a Fish Through Time. Fish Through Time probably turns into Ritual, right? So if I activate this and cast Ritual, I can't also cast a counterspell this turn, so I just want to pass again. No attacks. No attacks. Stop it. Let's not misclick our way out of this game. Double ding. They could have a veto here. They have a veto. Veto's the reason we took the second Ritual off the Fish Through Time. They're all so beautiful, how can we pick, right? Right? Yeah, we're an incredible favorite from here. We're not guaranteed to win, but we're an incredible favorite. Oh! Oh, we're gonna let me brainstorm again. That's exciting. I like brainstorming. You have another veto? Veil of Summer. I think I just negate this. Because I'd prefer they don't draw a veto. So I haven't played a land yet this turn, so I'm going to put Fish Through Time, and a Breeding Pool back on top of my deck. And I'm going to stack Breeding Pool on top. And then we'll play this Temple and scry the land at the bottom. Hey, Gazi, thank you for the 9 months. And Lucas the Dragon, thank you for the 11. Welcome back, folks. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, that might have been the more conservative play, is to grasp at end step to, like, set up the Kefnet copy on the Ritual of Soot. And, like, you know, 4 and 5 power flying creatures, like, end the game very quickly. I don't know if this deck is good, but it's definitely great. That's where I'm at. I don't know if it's good, but it's definitely great. I feel like I just, like, want another counterspell here, huh? That's what we're looking for. Seven cards is a lot of cards, chat. You're gonna find what you're looking for. This doesn't have reach, right? So I don't care. I have why is there an Overgrown Tomb in their deck? Why is there an Overgrown Tomb in their deck? Why didn't we counter that? Why should I counter it? It doesn't do anything, right? It's fetchable. Alright, so is there anything other than Thief of Sanity that might help the Nexus matchup? There's really not, right? I need ways to kill them, and I'm not sure that I have a good way to kill them outside of this card. No, the problem, again, isn't disruption. The problem is just them having infinite time. Splash 3. I'm already on a Splash for Trophy. I think the Splash for Trophy is better. We could just play Esper. You're not wrong. We could Unmoored Ego them. That's true. We just Ego them and take their Nexus of Fates away. Can they win? Don't do it, Jeff. I mean, Unmoored Ego is probably better than Thief of Sanity, right? I feel like them taking a bunch of turns is the only way they kill us, because we have so many good pieces of card advantage. I can Ego, you can Ego Command the Dreadhorde players too. Lieutenant Khan, good to be able to pop in. I now work a regular Monday to Friday 8, so I'm not here very often. Still watching YouTube. Well, I appreciate you dropping off that Prime support, Lieutenant Cohen. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for hanging around and welcome back. Yes, Unmoored Ego. Desperate times call for desperate measures. It's what I am, Chad. I am a desperate man. In the blue equivalent is Gust of whatever. Aether Gust, is that the card? Disfigure and Enter the God-Eternal is not particularly good against most Hallowed Fountain decks. We're going to lose our Drawn from Dreams here. Are they going to ban me if I make Buddy blue every match? I prefer Buddy to be blue because blue's my favorite color. They took my trophy. That's interesting. They just have another one for this. They have a Planeswalker here. Drawing. Second Disfigure feels real bad. Virtual card disadvantage to experience these matchups makes it tough. Wait. They named Enter the God-Eternals? I thought I was gonna lose all my fish through times. Excuse me? Resolves. I mean, they have a main deck Unmoored Ego, so like all bets are off is what they could potentially be doing. This is your daily reminder that the ladder is not competitive Magic testing and people play whatever they want. How do I even pick? How do I even pick? All these cards are so good. All these cards are so good. I mean, I kind of want to land, right? Double Erasure, obviously. Do we want to know what's in their hand? That's a good question. I'm gonna take the land of the Narset. They probably have cards that draw cards, so Narset's probably good. Bellhaunt, sure. I'm gonna throw these Disfigure back, and then, like, if they kill my Cavalier, I get to shuffle. God bless. If they attack, I'm gonna block, because the attack represents Kaya, Oath of Kaya. Sure. Yikes. Yikes. I guess Narset's like a soft answer to Big Teferi, right? She stops him from drawing a card every turn, which is nice. Yeah, looks like they're playing Esper Hero, who's just been hurt by Nexus too many times.
No, I am not.
So they've got main deck Ego.
Sorry I'm late. No time for a break.
No time for a break. Oh. I'm gonna do this. This way if I hit trophy plus a black source, I can kill this. I think it's right to throw the negate back here. I think there's a good chance it's getting shuffled away. I think I'd rather have these. Although next turn, yeah, because I'm not killing the 3 mana after, right? So negate's just not doing much. That's delicious. So I have 5, 6, 7 mana currently. What if I do this and like guarantee my land draw? And then like I can Narset into the drawn and then cast drawn. I think I like that.
Really should have seen that coming.
No, I can't leave negate up. I have Teferi. There's a little tough in play.
I've got time.
Long time YouTube viewer, wanted to pop in and thank you for the content. You've come through in the evening. Well, thanks for the support, Haas. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. I think I just lead on this because it like cuts this off of drawing cards too, which is nice.
If you wish to surrender now, I understand. Hone your prowess.
Yeah, Drawn from Dreams is a really strong card. You're moving to Denver. Exciting, Paula. Thank you for the tier 3. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I have not played a land yet, so I could grab a temple here. I probably just want max threat density though, right? So I probably want Search plus Cavalier. Like, this has been annoying, but like, unless they rip specifically Command the Dreadhorde, which I probably shouldn't say that because they're going to draw it now, but outside of Command the Dreadhorde, we're in a good spot. And that's just like one of the tough parts about this format is there's cards like Command the Dreadhorde that like invalidate every small incremental advantage I've built this game. All right, so now I think I Narset, Impulse, try and find a trophy, because if we trophy this, I can hold negate up.
Is more prepared than me.
Sure, she's gone.
I must train harder. I have just the trick for this.
All right, so this can attack this down. If we don't get Dreadhorded this turn, if this is a blank, we're gonna be in a real good spot. I don't actually know how Brainstorm plus revealed cards works. I don't actually know. Because hiding the Azcanta doesn't mean anything, because they're going to get to take it with a draw step Thought Erasure. It resets your hand if you Brainstorm. Good. That's how it should work. Because they technically don't know anything in our hand when we Brainstorm. Anything could be there and anything could be put back. All right.
Only time will tell.
All right, we are pretty far ahead here. Punish for playing the land. Because I definitely don't want to bin this negate. The negate's pretty important here. We're still ahead, but small mistake on my part. Do 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 beep beep beep. Yeah, I think it is Braywits. That's why I'm playing it. I think it is in fact good enough to warrant the third color. Dig through time's a heck of a drug, chat. Fish through time is yeah. When we were playing the blue-white deck yesterday, I was just like, man, this Fish Through Time card is real good. That's fine. The fact that Cavalier is another resilient threat, just like God-Eternal Kefnet, is so good. It's actually in an hour and 15 minutes tracks. Is at 1 o'clock. Is that a good one to have on top when I'm casting Kefnet? I think I'm gonna decline to activate my search. I think I'm gonna decline to activate my search. Can I play this deck? I'm gonna play this deck on Thursday. I think this deck is too fun not to play. I don't know that I could, like, choose to not play this. It's kind of awesome. Oh, if I would have grabbed a land, I could have played this and held up a counterspell still, right? Like, the flash deck's sweet. I just, like, really want to draw a lot of cards. Yeah, we beat Mono Red. I feel like we have a lot of good tools for the Mono Red matchup. I've got Cerulean Drakes, and I've got 4 Disfigures. Yeah, Kefnet and Cavalier both giving us ways to close against Mono Red is pretty valuable. Yeah, this is a control deck. It's really bad against the Wilderness Reclamation decks. It's really bad against the Wilderness Reclamation decks. Well, yeah, which is why we put 3 Ego in the sideboard. Yep. What is good against the Reclamation decks? Red aggro is good against the Reclamation decks. Among other things. Get to cut a bunch of this removal here. I am a little bit short on cards for this matchup with the Unmoored Ego, so I don't really want Unmoored Ego in this matchup. That being said, I feel like we probably have enough tools that that's okay. I think I'd rather have Cruelty than... Unmoored Ego. Usually Nexus Blur. It depends on the position you're in, though. Is Drake fine here? No. I guess Drake counters Thought Erasure. All right, in. In. Counters Duress, too. I don't know if it's good, but it's probably less bad than Cruelty. And it, like, attacks their Planeswalkers, right? It counters their Unmoored Ego. That it does. That it does. Yeah, well, it doesn't counter things that target your permanents, but it counters things that target you. So, counter a spell that targets you. That's true. We also have not seen Hero. And one of the sweet things about this deck is post-board, even without the Cruelties, we have 4 trophies and 3 Noxious Grasps. We have lots of ways to kill Hero without having narrow creature removal in our deck. Yeah, unfortunately, we're on the play, so Drake's a little bit late. the Blur. Thank you for the 18 months. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. You've killed him, you monster. I hope you're happy with yourself. I guess I should have just put that into play tapped, right? Like, what can they play here that I would want a trophy that I can't Noxious Grasp? I guess Narset. I assume we're losing fish through time here. Yep. Alright, hoping to draw another fish, a Kefnet, a Narset, a Search for Azcanta. These are a few of my favorite things. Do 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 do. I mean, Drake got gas down. I feel like that's kind of a win. That's a decent name. We don't have that many win conditions. Are we dead to double Unmoored Ego? If they double Ego us and take our Kefnets too, we're actually dead, right? I don't have that much threat density. Oh, I brought in an Ugin. Yeah, that's right. I brought in Ugin. Good call. I have Drakes as well. Yeah, don't doubt the power of the 1/1. As always, if you want to submit something to the deck queue, I'd encourage you to use the link here. I cut the God-Eternals, but I might bring it back in considering they left it on Unmoored Ego. I don't know, the God-Eternal token is like pretty bad in the face of 3-mana Teferi. Okay, I mean, they're on empty. What are the odds I hit a black source here? What are the odds I hit a black source? There's 44 cards in my deck. There's 13 black sources remaining. I'm looking at 7. I want at least 1. 2 of my black sources are temples, so there's only 11 that are hits. If I cast this fish through time, I'm 89% to hit the black source. 89%. I think I'm just supposed to trophy this. The green source does it too. You're right, green source does it too. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to fish here. This guarantees it resolves. Alright. Yeah, black, or green. By leaving the tomb up. No gamble, no future, Dwight. No gamble, no future. As is often going to be the case, we are currently soft to a Command the Dreadhorde off the top. I could go either way on that one. I could go either way on that one. You could, yeah, I think we're supposed to get rid of it, but like, you know, if they like play 3-mana Teferi and bounce this and draw Thought Erasure and take it away from me, it gets very hard to win the game very quickly. But on the other hand, there could be a fish through time underneath that Kefnet, and I would love to reveal a fish through time next turn. I would love to reveal a fish through time. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, it's the worst possible timeline. Oh, it's the worst possible timeline. Oh no! Don't draw a removal spell. Don't do it. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Everything went so wrong. Oh, I just can't do it. Oh, should I play the flash deck or should just like, it feels so miserable to just have every decision I've made throughout the course of the game just becoming completely invalidated by our opponent top decking that card. Just like none of my choices mattered because they drew Command the Dreadhorde. None of my choices mattered because they drew Command the Dreadhorde. This deck doesn't gain life. I don't think we can play Command the Dreadhorde in our deck. I also don't think I can afford to dedicate sideboard slots to a very narrow card like that, while also dedicating sideboard slots to things like Unmoored Ego. This format's exactly like Modern. It's miserable in a lot of matchups. You gotta pick and choose which matchups you want to give yourself a chance in, and which ones you're gonna lose and feel helpless in. The choice that you binned Kefnet mattered. I don't think so. I think we're pretty dead there regardless. You could have kept it and killed Thief, sure. Yeah, I think you're right, Demir Spy. I think you're right that Magic has just been pushed into that direction at this point. Yeah, I should probably play the flash deck. Shorter games is a good, Can someone construct a reasonable argument for me why you think I should play around Command the Dreadhorde there? Like, do we think Command the Dreadhorde is the only card in their deck that I can't beat? Is that the argument we want to go with? Is that, I feel like that's the direction you have to take your argument in at that point. Like that you feel like that's the only card I can't beat off the top of their deck. Like they had to draw Dreadhorde and they had to draw a removal spell immediately following it with no cards in their hand. Yeah, I'm gonna register the flash deck after this. These decks are a lot of fun, but they're just not good. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and submit it now. I'm gonna play one more before I decide. No, I'm not playing the Simic deck. Not playing removal spells feels bad. So, when you have a low bandwidth issue on mobile Twitch, the first thing that Twitch downgrades is the audio quality. So, the Arena actually recently fixed the audio issues that they had, which is a little shocking, I know, but I mean, like, looking at this hand that's a giant bag of dicks is, it's good for us. It's gonna convince me to register the other deck. I prefer standard or modern. Probably modern. Which says a lot about the current state of standard. Ah! Oh. Well, they're at least missing land drops. This is fine. I put 2 lands on top of my deck, so their thief only has 1 shot at a spell. I get to Nixilis Cruelty this next turn, which lets me brainstorm again. I have a Disfigure for this. We have a Negate up next turn, potentially too. There's the trophy for the search for Azcanta. I think we're actually in a pretty okay spot here. They have 2 cards left. I think they have 1 of my cards here. They have 2 of my cards here. I don't know. I can't see them, but I think there's 2 of my cards here. So they have like 5 cards, and I have 5 cards. And they have two of my cards here that just like don't show up apparently. So do I counter this, or do I just disfigure the thief? I think I just disfigure the thief, huh? It's a trap. They have invisible cards. They do have invisible cards. You're not wrong. Nah, not with Ritual of Soot on top of my deck. I don't think killing the hero is a huge priority. So I want to clear the tokens anyways.
I've got time. Now what?
All right, so they have, yeah, they have 2 of my cards over here still. Maybe I'm supposed to shock that to hold the second negate up. That seems fine. Shock this in, pass. How has this deck been doing? It's been a lot of fun. I desperately want it to be good. Is it actually good? I don't know. Probably not, but I desperately want it to be. So the problem with trophying their Azcanta Navier is if I trophy the Azcanta, I then have 2 negates locked in my hand that don't do anything. So like while the Azcanta is going to eventually give them advantage, over time I'm losing advantage from that card sitting there. Yeah, Teferi effectively discarded 2 cards from my hand, which is like not where I want to be in life. Yeah, I had a negate in my hand at that point, Navier, and they had a 5-mana Teferi in theirs. So like if I choose to get rid of the Azcanta, I'm then leaving them with a 3-mana Teferi and a 5-mana Teferi. Which is a big deal. So if they cast this at this point, I think I'm just hanging out. I think that's just like fine. I guess if they cast this, I can't cast this for free with this, which is kind of a problem. If they try to kill this, I'm just going to let that happen. Yeah, that's fine. Unfortunately, I don't get to scry, but that's fine. They whiffed on an activation. That's good for us. So now I do want to negate this little Teferi because negating the little Teferi means my 4/4 gets to live. Where do we land on Phantom decks? I've got 50 minutes to land on a Phantom deck. Yep, welcome to Thunderdome.
I'm known for my excellent timing.
Bye, friend.
Here we go.
1 fish through time, please. One of your finest fish through times, please. I can't even cast that because there's a Teferi in play. So if you reveal it, you can't cast it. That being said, it does kill this search for Azcanta. So we got that going for us. And then I'm at 29 cards in my deck and they're at 31, so I'm milling them because I would prefer to not deck. Yeah, we're ahead at the moment. He says as his opponent jams another 3-mana Teferi down his throat.
Longer. Stand by and watch.
We did mill one, command the Dreadhorde. Is this the fourth one? 1, 2... Yeah, definitely the fourth one. Can't reveal that. Well, could reveal it, but wouldn't be able to cast it for free. The invisible cards are because of the sleeve we're using and Thief of Sanity out of the opponent. And yes, it is a bug. Alright, we're ahead until they draw command the Dreadhorde. And game. Opponent agrees. Opponent agrees, and we're done. Alright, so this opponent has Thief of Sanity in their deck. So I think that means I want all my Witch figures here, because they have Hero and Thief. I probably don't want these. I want these Disdainful Strokes. I think the fact that they're on Thief means that I want the Disfigures. I don't think I bring in Ego for Command the Dreadhorde. I think I just want to count on hitting my Negates and my Disdainful Strokes, or like Thought Erasuring them. You almost baited me to say which figure. I just understood the joke about calling it which figure, and I feel like an idiot. It's okay. It's okay. You aren't, if you're not someone who plays Modern, you haven't been around for Dispel jokes for forever. Alright, we have to submit a deck list after this. I need to decide what we want to do. Which member, which spell, dispel, dismember, disfigure. Yeah. Those are, I have children, I can make that joke. Well, Asan does not have an answer to Thief of Sanity, but there's a good chance even if we did, they'd take it away, so I think we keep this. I do get to turn to this, so I get to dig a little bit for one potentially. Although if they have an erasure here, they might take this. Yep. Hello, wife. Oh, see, and for those of you that are taking notes at home, we skillfully left our Thought Erasure on top of the deck. Just to be clear, that was a skillful leave on top of the deck. Yeah, their hand is mediocre, which means the top of their deck is about to slaughter us. If the last game taught us anything. It's not too big of a deal. Huh? If I get 3 mana of Teferi here, I'm a little bit sad, but I think that's fine. Alright, y'all ready to fish through time? Are we ready? Why? Could you imagine if this card was an instant? It'd be so busted. We just like pass with these negates up and then draw on when they don't work. But like, we're gonna look at 7 cards here, so pretty good chance we see a Noxious or like an Assassin's Trophy. So even if they like untap and hit a Planeswalker here, we should be pretty okay. That's true. You can make it an instant yourself. You can build your own instant. Imagine if it was a two. They would never print this effect as a 2-mana instant. Come on now. That's just not the case. I think I just want Cavalier of Gales here. I guess Cavalier dies to their D-Spark. So maybe I just take Thought Erasure. Yeah, I'm gonna take Thought Erasure. I could have fished into fish there, that's true. Lucky, lucky, lucky. Lucky, lucky, lucky. Hashtag sometimes lucky, right? Stop it. Get out of here. And one of the sweet things about the current position we're in is I get to tap out here and command the Dreadhorde doesn't even just completely destroy us, which is nice. All right, so I'm gonna put back Watery Grave and Drawn from Dreams because I don't want them to take my fish through time if they draw a discard spell, and we're gonna redraw that card anyways, and then Drawn through Dreams is gonna clear past the second one there. Yes, we're so good at this, chat. We're so good at this. This is bad. I'm registering 4 fish through times. Listen, chat, the tournament tomorrow is completely free. I don't have to leave my house. We should cast fish through time, right? Enable me. Tell me to make bad decisions, chat. We've got 40 minutes. It's been a while. Let's have an exercise in proper deck building. All right, so here, one of the questions people often ask, like, building decks in best of 3 is intimidating, especially with sideboards. This is the way, in my opinion, you should approach sideboard. So this is the 75 I'm thinking about registering. How I want to think about my sideboard is I want to go through the matchups that I think I'm going to be playing and make sure that my ins and outs make sense and make notes if they don't and adjust accordingly. So, let's start with Nexus of Fate. So the Nexus of Fate matchup. How do I want to board the Nexus of Fate matchup? Disfigure's bad. Cruelty's bad. Ritual of Soot's bad. Enter the God-Eternals is bad. So I ideally want 10 cards out of my sideboard to come in this matchup. And having a lot of cards makes sense because, like we said, this matchup's bad. So I have Strokes, an extra Negate, 3 Noxious Grasp, 3 Unmoored Egos, and an Ugin. And look at that. Okay, so the Nexus of Fate matchup we're currently have a good sideboard for, right? Lines up well. All right, so now we can delete this and try again. What's the next matchup we care about? Let's say black-white vampires. Let's think about the black-white vampires matchup. So what cards are bad in the black-white vampires matchup? Narset probably gets attacked a lot. Negate's probably not super meaningful. Thought Erasure, I could probably take or leave. So at a minimum, I want 5 cards out of my sideboard for the vampires matchup. So we have, right now I have a Disfigure, I have a Cast Down, I have an Nixilis Cruelty, and I've got 3 copies of Noxious Grasp. So it looks like, as configured, my vampires matchup has ins and outs that make sense and are reasonable here. So Search, from an activation perspective, tends to be slow against vampires, but from a hitting your land drops early consistently perspective, it's very reasonable. This is the power of Search in the aggressive matchups is that it subtly helps you just play Magic instead of bricking off and dying, basically. All right, what are other matchups that we care about? Let's look at Mono Red. What does the mono red matchup look like? Esper. Okay, let's do Esper. So one of the hard things about Esper is thinking about one of the hard things about Esper is thinking about, like, there's a lot of different variations. So, like, for instance, we just played against Esper that had Hero and Thief, which means I want to leave in Disfigure. But let's say we want to play against just the Hero decks that have been going around that don't have Thief in them. So Disfigure. Flash and Flash Mono Blue are good ones. Flash/Blue are ones we're going to want to write down. So for Esper, I want to cut Disfigures. I want to cut Enter the God-Eternals. I want to cut these. I want Disdainful Strokes. I want Negate. I want Noxious Grasp. Noxious Grasp is so good. I want this Ugin. I'm not 100% certain I want these Nixilis Cruelties. So it looks like maybe as my sideboard exists, I'm short cards for the Esper matchup. So I might want to try and push some things around for that. I feel like with 3 Noxious Grasp and 4 Trophy, I probably have enough cards for to cover those things. The Egos are exactly for Nexus of Fate, because that matchup's really hard. Yeah, Drake could be okay versus Esper. Let's see, before we make too many changes, let's see what the rest of our matchups look like. Because if you end up with multiple matches where your deck is short, you want to try and adjust your sideboard in ways so you can help multiple matchups. All right, so let's say mono blue. What does my mono blue flash sideboard configuration look like? I want Disfigure. I want Cast Down. I want this extra Nixilis Cruelty. I probably don't want Enter the God-Eternals. I probably don't want Negate. It looks like I'm potentially light on cards for the mono blue matchup. Against blue-green flash, I can board in Noxious Grasp just fine, because, like, killing their wolf is pretty important. So I might be light on cards for Esper and mono blue. What does my mono red matchup look like? Because, like, one of my questions I want to ask myself is, are these copy of Cerulean Drakes meaningful? Because, like, these Drakes could turn into things that cover other matchups. Like, Duress, for instance, is good against mono blue and also good against Esper. So that's I didn't clone it. So that's an example of a card. Drake's an example of a card that I could swap out for, like, Duress, because it covers multiple matchups. So mono red. Against mono red, I want Disfigure. Oh, let's do cuts first. I usually like doing cuts first. So Narset is fine to cut against mono red. Ritual of Soot is fine to cut against mono red, because usually you want to be killing their things sooner. I have Drakes here that are good. I have a Cast Down as an extra piece of spot removal. I have Nixilis Cruelty. I could potentially bring in an extra Negate against mono red too. So, like, if I cut these Drakes, I still have enough cards for mono red if I cut the Drakes. I feel like maybe I need to give these up. Only one person brought the red deck last week anyways, and this card's kinda narrow. And there were 2 people that brought the flash deck, because that deck's kind of sweet. Nah, Ego. This is one reason I hate putting Ego in the sideboard, because it's such a trap card. I've heard people suggest we bring in Ego against Flash Wolf and Experimental Frenzy now. If this card is in our sideboard, it's in our sideboard for explicitly the Nexus matchup, and that's it. Which might be a reason to play less than 3. I feel like I'm going to replace these Drakes with a couple Duresses here. Because Duress is also a card that can come in against Nexus of Fate. Which is nice. Someone had asked whether or not we wanted the Cast Down. I really think we do. 2 mana efficient speed removal is really good against things like the blue aggro deck as well as red aggro. And honestly, I could see this last card being another cast down, because cast down is just very good against the mono blue deck and the blue green deck. Because if you can keep their wolves off the table, that's usually a very good place to be. So the problem with Grafdigger's Cage is that the Command the Dreadhorde deck we're really worried about is getting back Planeswalkers, and Grafdigger's Cage doesn't stop Planeswalkers. I don't think we need another threat to bring in against control. Both God-Eternal Kefnet and Cavalier of Gales are both what I would describe as very sticky threats, like they're hard to take off the board permanently. So I think both of these are fine. Do we love Narset in the main deck? Is this a main deck card? Or should this potentially be something else? Because, like, I've got a lot of card advantage in my deck. Like, what matchups do I want this card in? It's like the Bant matchup for Hydroid Krasis and probably Esper. Is there anywhere else I want this to be a card in my deck? It's okay against Nexus. Nexus doesn't actually draw that many cards anymore, right? So the problem with Veil, I think Veil is worse than Duress against Esper and the Flash deck a lot of the time, because the games you're losing to the Flash deck, generally speaking, they're getting under you, and paying an additional mana to protect your card with Veil, it takes a long time and is often too slow. I would rather proactively duress them the turn before to clear the way for the following turn. So, like, one swap I could make here is, like, I could put these Narsets in the sideboard and put some other cards that are just, like, generically good in the format. I think this 75 seems good. The question is, like, what should be main and what should be sideboard? The problem with Spyglass is that 3-mana Teferi just bounces it. Yeah, Veil's better in lower curve decks. I agree. Unmoored Ego is generically... Listen, our last Esper opponent thought so. Now, I don't think Unmoored Ego covers enough stuff in the format right now. I think I'd rather have this. This is probably fine. I've got this hedges control, these hedge aggro. Hey, Torcat, thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Oh, you already have one. Look at that. The timing is so awkward on those things. All right, yeah, let's just do this. Because, so, another thing to consider too, which is nice, is because the tournament tomorrow is heads up deckless, I'll know when I'm playing against aggro, so I'll know when I should be mulliganing Ritual of Soot and Disfigure before then. Now, the submit deadline's in 30 minutes. Like, my opinion on the Flash deck's not going to change in the next half hour. That's true. Like, we run the risk of playing Flash Mirrors as well. I don't run the risk of playing Fish Through Time Mirrors. Fish through Time Mirrors are not going to happen. I think I was pretty happy with my mana, right? I had 8, 16, I have 18 blue sources and 16 black, I think. 12, 16, yeah, that's the mana was fine. Now we're going fishing, chat. I'm registering right now. After I register, we're gonna play Mardu Super Friends, I promise. You mean the Elementals matchup? That's probably fine. We have rituals and trophies and Noxious Grasp, so The way they submit deck lists for this thing is so stupid. You have to submit pictures, and the pictures have to be a minimum resolution. So like my sideboard picture has a bunch of white space in it because my sideboard's not that big. What do you think is the best against red deck wins, Feather, and Simic Flash? Probably white aggro. White aggro probably does pretty good in that format. If you a configuration of white aggro that's like reasonable against red is probably the pick. Do we care about the Scapeship matchup? That deck probably has a fine Scapeship matchup. It's got a bunch of negates and Disdainful Strokes. All right, I believe I've submitted my deck. It no longer tells me I have incomplete decks. Yay!